Welcome to Training with People for People community. Together, we're making a real difference in the world, and now you're a vital part of that change. Let's get started on this incredible journey together.
Hello and welcome to the Development Department Workshop Leader Training. I am so excited to have you here. I'm Adriana Martinez, and I am one of the executive directors in the Development Department. And with me today is Tammy Castillo. Tammy, do you want to say hi?
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
We're so excited to have you here. So let's jump on in. I'm ready.
Here we go. This is so true. We are building something bigger together. And just like this says, it is so exciting and so much bigger than you think. We're building a thriving community with business members and community members. And this is all about relationships, creating strong relationships. We are strengthening our supply chain so that we have everything we need. We connect community members and businesses so that we can have everything we need. We can shop for all the things we need right here in our own community. Now, by working together, we're creating a stable economy for a brighter, better future.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And within that big picture view, we have this wonderful place called the Development Department. And that is exactly where you are today. Okay, you're a part of this Development Department. And the Development Department, just to give you a little bit of a background, happens after the Connections Department has been established. Now we're focused on the Development Department. And the reason that we have a Development Department, I think this is really super important to understand, is because the Development Department is really all about just exactly what Tammy just said, about that connection, about establishing relationships. That drives that growth of businesses, of ideas, of individuals. And that's what we're all about. It's about that collaboration, about those relationships and those connections. And our purpose here in the Development Department is to amplify the voices and messages of those who are with us. And really, Tammy did such an amazing job at mentioning how those connections lead to those meaningful relationships. And we do all of that through our development meetings. That is networking, workshop, community news, and podcasts. That is all that we use to empower each other, to really grow together and promote that lasting success that we all want and that we're all here for. We will be talking about these 4 meetings and a little bit more in depth, but we are really excited to dive in. So let's just get to it.
So how are we organized to lead here in the Development Department? Every development department has a super mentor, and you will see that super mentor providing all kinds of support. You'll especially see them in your pre-meetings. They will run those pre-meetings, and in various ways, you will see that super mentor support. That mentor also supports that community manager and the development department. The community manager gets this all kicked off and started as they are the ones who reached out and brought on our development directors, both that development director 1 and that development 2. And as a workshop leader, whether you're workshop leader 1 or workshop leader 2, you were more than likely reached out. A development director, either 1 or 2, reached out to you and said, hey, I would love to have you come and lead with me, lead with us. And so on your team with you is a networking leader, a community news leader, and a podcast leader. We have both of those on the development director 1 and on the development director 2, so that we have 8 leaders all together. Now, you're also going to see as your teams develop and grow, you'll start seeing trainees in these roles as well. because we're looking always to the future and we want these departments to expand and grow. And so you will start seeing workshop trainees coming in to learn your role. So as you go on to other roles, as you expand and your departments expand, you have leaders in those roles learning and ready to step up into these positions. You're going to hear a lot more about your role and other things. But first, let's talk about how we're structured, how these meetings are structured. Adriana, back to you.
Thank you, Tammy. Yes, these development meetings have a specific structure, all of them. And the main thing is that we're 30 minutes. 30 minutes. And we have action-packed, so much value in each of these meetings in these 30 minutes. Now, 30 minutes is to respect our time as well as our members' time and to make it accessible for as many people as possible. So that is super, super important that we have it at 30 minutes. And we also follow a 4-week rotation cycle. And I mentioned that earlier. So we're networking, workshop, community news, and podcasts, and we rotate through those. Those are for the development meetings. And then we also have these leader meetings. And these leader meetings are so, so, so important. They are just as valuable as the actual development meetings. Leader meetings are meetings that happen 15 minutes before each of the development meetings. And in those leader meetings, the director will confirm that everybody is present, they're prepared to lead that meeting that day. And we'll also make sure for next week that we're prepared. Tammy said, we're always thinking of the future and we always want to be prepared so that if we'll talk about attendance in a couple minutes, but if there is somebody that's going to miss, we have that ready for next week. And just like it says here, address any last minute changes or needs that happen. That all goes into those leader meetings. So you can see why they're so valuable. And then I do want to add really quick here, we do not have any regular meetings during holiday weeks, during event weeks, and during the national conference. So those will be on a calendar that you'll see in the back office. You'll have access to it and you can see what weeks they are. So you'll know that no regular meetings happen on those weeks. So let's keep going.
Awesome. Now that you know the overall structure of the development department meetings, let's talk about your specific meetings, the workshop meetings. Now, I do want to make sure it's really clear, even though you are a workshop leader, you will go to all 4 department meetings. So you'll go to networking, you'll go to community news, you'll go to podcasts. But workshop, that's going to be yours. That's going to be the meeting that you run. So what does that look like? The workshop meetings, they really are a space to learn, engage, and exchange perspectives. This is very different from the way workshops are conducted, presented, done anywhere else. This is not a lecture. It's just very different. This is a conversation. This is about connections and relationships. So our workshops, this is so cool and it's so fun. They are interactive. They are focused on sharing insights, on refining our messages, and on really growing together through discussion. Workshops are so fun. Now, how does this really work? Now, workshop leader 1, they're going to select and prepare the presenters. We have lists of exclusive members who get to be presenters. We have leaders. We have a whole list of ways that you get as leader 1 to select your presenters. Now, we're going to ensure that they share a brief 3 to 5 minute insight. We call this the golden nugget. And then from there, they facilitate an open discussion with engaging questions that they prepared ahead of time to really facilitate that quality discussion that allows all the participants to give their insight, to participate, to feel valuable. It's not about a PowerPoint. It's not about this big presentation. It's about that really one juicy golden nugget and then that really robust conversation. Now, leader 2, what does leader 2 do? Leader 2 does the screen share and demonstrates how to grab a Google review link and leads the growth activity. So let's talk about that growth activity. Every meeting has a growth activity. Just another thing that makes us so special and so different. So for workshops, our growth activity, we have our members take action. And what that looks like is exchanging Google reviews. Y'all, this is priceless. And if you don't have a Google review link, if a business member doesn't, that's okay. We still provide value by engaging with a social media post that they bring. So there are ways, either through the Google review or through a social media post, to boost their visibility, to give them a really high value experience on top of already the high value experience of the workshop. So that is not only leader 1, leader 2, but also our growth activity, our whole workshop in a nutshell.
Yes. So are you ready to lead? This checklist will let you know if you are. So there are a couple of things that we want to make sure you do so that you feel and are prepared to lead. First things first, we want you to complete that educator and your workshop leader training, which is this. You're doing it. So congratulations. Yay. And then we want you to review your handbook. So you will get access to the handbook after you complete this training. And then once you have access to that, go through it, really dive in and make sure that you're practicing, you're figuring out where your resources are and where you need to hone in on. And then make sure that you practice those key skills, practice your script. If you're a workshop leader 1 or workshop leader 2, you will end up saying something and there is a script involved. So I will talk about that in just a second, but make sure that practice is on your checklist so that to do it. And then, of course, attend a full 4-week cycle of meetings. And you can do that through a development department that is already up and running. You can attend all of those 4 meetings and get that experience. And last thing is join the Q&A Facebook group. This Q&A Facebook group, we'll talk about it some more, but it is going to be so valuable, a fantastic resource to have with you. And you can find that link to join inside of the handbook. So always, again, I'm going to go back to that second bullet point. Make sure you review the handbook. It is so important for everything that you're doing. And then once you complete all of these, you're ready to lead. So let's see what happens afterward.
You're prepared to lead? What's next? Here is what you can expect once you have completed your training. First off, you will now be eligible to earn profit points. There's an ad. If you follow the 1+4 model. Y'all, this is so exciting. You are going to want to earn profit points. So check out the full details in the development handbook so you can make sure you follow the 1+4 model and earn those profit points. Also, you will have the opportunity to lead, teach, present all the things that are available here in the development department. Those meetings, those opportunities open up to you now that you've completed your training. Also, your director is available to answer basic questions. So these are questions specific to your development department. So for example, if you want to know what time and day your meetings are, if you want to know who the workshop presenter is, if you need to know, oh my goodness, am I leader 1? Am I leader 2? All of those very specific questions to your specific development department, your director has you covered. Now, what about those more in-depth inquiries? We have your back as well. That Q&A Facebook group that Adriana encouraged you to sign up for. That's your place to go to for all of those more detailed inquiries. So sign up for that Facebook group and get your answers there. We have in the handbook and in the group very detailed instructions on how to ask your questions and how those will be answered in the time frame that you can expect to get your answers back. Last but not least, once you've completed your training, you get full access to the back office. This includes access to the calendars, to your community, to exclusive business lists. All the things are listed there in your back office. So I hope this gets you excited about what to expect once you've completed your training.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And just like Tammy said, we've got your back. We want to see you succeed in this role, which is why we have put together some amazing resources for you. You can find these resources in your handbook, specifically in section 3, that's titled Understanding Your Role, and then the subsection that's specific to workshop leaders, training, and resources. Now, these are the resources that you have available here listed. First, I want to go through them. We have your meeting agenda in script. Now, this one is at the top because this is going to show you how that meeting flows. It's like a little summary at the beginning. And I want you to keep scrolling through this document so you can see what that script looks like. So if you're workshop leader 1, workshop leader 2, or you're just training, you're able to see what that script looks like because we don't come up with this off the top of our head. Like we would not be able to remember all of that. But we do have a script for you to follow. And once you get more comfortable, you can make your own, but it has the essentials of how that meeting flows. So really make sure that you pay attention to that and you practice it, like I mentioned earlier. And then we have this fantastic resource. It's called the Workshop Presenter Guide. Now, this one is so valuable because it will allow your presenter to know what to expect and how our workshops are different. Tammy was discussing, this is not a YouTube or a TED Talk or anything that's like just a presentation and just a speaker. It is not like that at all. We are a conversation. We create discussion. And that is what the presenter guide is really emphasizing on how our meetings flow a little bit differently. So that is super, super valuable. And then, of course, we have the training video as a resource as well. This is just in case you want to revisit anything that we discussed today or just refresh yourself on the processes and just some little golden nuggets that we've dropped throughout this training. So those are your resources. We've got your back. Check them out. They are part of your role. So just make sure that you go through them and you understand what they are and what they entail.
Awesome. Now you have your resources. You've been trained up. You know what to expect. Let's talk for just a few minutes about leading with commitment. What does that look like? And what does that entail? We're going to ask that you attend 75% of the time. Okay, but attend what? So that is all 4 development department meetings, workshop, networking, community news, podcasts, all 4 of them. And all 4 leader meetings. Adriana talked about how valuable those leader meetings are. So we're asking that you attend all 4 leader meetings and all 4 department meetings, 75% of the time. That's a minimum. Now, what about the 25% or any time that you need to be out? You're asked to ensure that you have backup when you need to be out. And there are some guidelines in the handbook about how to go about getting that backup, what to do when you secure backup. So you're going to seek backup from your other leaders, not from the other workshop leader. They have a role, but from the other department leaders, such as podcast leader or networking leader, community news leader, see if they can cover for you. And when they say yes, then you are going to also give them some guidance around which leader are you? What resources do they need so that they can do a good job and lead with commitment while you are out? And then keep your leadership informed. So you're going to let them know that you're going to be out and let them know that, guess what? You already found backup and they are good to go. You have everything they need to lead with commitment in your absence. And prepare to lead by practicing your role. I heard Adriana say, I think 3 times, practice. That's because this part is just so valuable. It is so important. There's so many great resources, the training, the handbook. However, if you get your agenda and you get your script and you've only just looked at it 5 minutes before your meeting, it probably is not going to provide the value to you that it is intended to have. But if you look at it before, early enough and you start practicing, it can be priceless. And everyone is a little different. So the amount of practice you want could be a little different, or the amount of practice you need in order to feel confident in presenting in your meeting might be a little different than what I need, or what maybe Adriana or maybe workshop leader 2 or 1 needs. So lead yourself and practice the amount of time that you need to be able to lead with commitment for your role. Now, the full details for everything is in your handbook. So don't forget to go back to your handbook for all of the details of how to lead with commitment.
And leading with commitment, we also we want to stay informed. So that's what it's all about. This slide here is just to tell you how we can stay connected. Now, there are a few ways to stay connected with your community and as a leader. As a leader, we want you to stay connected through first attending those weekly leader and development meetings. We talked about the importance of them. Make sure that you're attending them 75% of the time. And then we have this all leader meeting. This is organization-wide. This is all leaders coming from everywhere, directors, community managers, mentors. Everybody in the organization is invited to this meeting. Currently, they're happening on Tuesdays at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, and they are run by Jennifer. And what she does is she gives these organization-wide leader updates of what's going on, what's coming, and what's happening. So super valuable to stay connected and informed. And then the third way to stay connected is through that Facebook Q&A group specific to the development department. So we will be in there. Me and Tammy and your executive team for the development department are all in there, just talking about some updates that are happening with the development department, any new resources that might be coming out, or any tweaks that we've been making. Things like that that you want to stay informed about will be in that group. And that is where you go, like Tammy mentioned, to ask those more in-depth questions and inquiries that you can have access to. And then if you want to know the full schedules, they are available in the back office. So like your leader meetings, development meetings, those times, those dates, all of that is going to be in your back office. So you will have access to that.
So much good information, a lot of training today. So a couple things not to forget. First of all, complete all the training to prepare for your role. You're here today, so please give yourself a big pat on the back. We're so excited for you. Now, if you want to expand as a mentor or grow in other departments, please get with your director and let them know that's something that you want to do. The goal for everyone is the 1+4 model. We are building together for success. We want to remind you to reference your handbook for guidance, all things development. And remember, we are the difference we are looking for. You are the difference we're looking for with People for People.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for your leadership, for being here and making a difference with People for People. We are so excited for you to get started in your role as a workshop leader. So get to it and we'll see you in there. Bye.